Tony Watson, again, the CPA. Tony, what's the most overlooked part of a return, a property owner's return, that you find the money when other people haven't?
Well, first off, I always like to do somewhat of an interview with my clients, sit down and ask them essentially what they spent their money on over the course of a 365-day period. And I also remind them that if they are not reconciling their books at the end of every month or at the end of every quarter, they could be losing out on very important write-offs at the beginning of the year or halfway through the year, because 365 days is a long period of time. And so the first option that I give my clients is to first off print out their bank statements, to go through their deductions, to label anything that they think would be deductible, and then we sit down and we figure out what exactly is the deduction for either the small business or the rental property. Obviously, mortgage interest and property taxes are the two most common deductions on the return. However, after that, what else is deductible for that individual? In the first year that you acquire a property, most individuals automatically assume that property taxes, mortgage interest, insurance would be the most common deductions on the rental property return or on the business return. Whereas, what about the other deductions? What about travel? What about legal and professional fees? What about small replacements or improvements to the property? What about security? If you install a security system on the property, that is also deductible. So there's a laundry list of deductions that you could take, and a lot of individuals, when they come in, if they don't have every reconciled statement from each month or each quarter of the year, they might be missing out on some of those deductions. So I guess the most important thing is the interview process between accountant and client. That interview process is very, very important because we are there questioning you as to what you spent your money on 300 days ago, 200 days ago, 100 days ago. And individuals appreciate that because then we can spark ideas in their mind as to what they spent their money on. And so the most common deductions, just to go over those, mortgage interest, property taxes, insurance, legal and professional fees, and travel. Travel is a very common expense for rental property ownership, especially if you are managing the property yourself and if you are actively participating in that property. So you just have to, the interview process, once again, is very important, and that's probably the most important thing for me as an accountant, is to make sure that my client is taking advantage of every single deduction over a 365-day period.